like 0-hour contracts, it's a bit grey, as in terminating them. If they haven't worked for a while, you still got to just work out that average week's notice. How do you do that?
So the way I would do it is I would take them off the rota. Obviously, they're not on the rota. And you say, right, I'm giving you a week's notice. You're not scheduled to work, so they don't get any money because they're 0 hours. Now, if they're part-time workers, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But if they've actually got a 0 hours contract with the correct wording, then if they're not scheduled for work and you pay them that's how I would do it. Nadia.
What we're talking about here is not immediate termination. Now, usually when we talk to you, was like, sack them today, pay them in lieu of notice. So this is the opposite, the advice that we usually give you. What you would do here is you would say, we no longer need your hours, whatever, we're terminating your employment. With a week's notice, your termination date is X, and that date will be a week in the future. And then you just don't give them any shifts in that week, and then you owe them the money. And the other thing to remember is that you need to double check the notice in your contracts and make sure it is actually a week, because a lot of the contracts, you'll find that it's only a week during the probation period, and after that it becomes a month.
It's not the week's notice that is usually the problem per se. It's the fact that if they are over 2 years continuous service on your payroll, you can't just give them notice. Under the 2 years, absolutely, you can just say, yes, thank you very much for your service, here's your P45. And I wouldn't worry about it too much because most, like you say, most 0 hours, they're students, they're not actually working for you at the moment, they don't care. But if they're over 2 years, you can still do that with students. What we tend to say, though, is that you would do it after, for example, the summer. And then when they're going back to uni and you say, oh, thank you so much for helping us and looking forward to seeing you at Christmas and here's your P45 and all the best, and sort of pretend that we don't know about the 2 years. Obviously, yeah. And then if they come back and say, oh, you can't do that, fine. But you've got then potentially 3 months of them not caring.
Thanks for watching. If you want a free peace of mind call with us to discuss your policies, handbook, and any burning staff issues in your business, click the link in the description below.